So I have the opportunity to lead an organization called Digital Discipleship that is a global discipleship-making network that is in 50 different countries. And our why is this. In Matthew 28, verses 18 through 19, it says this: Jesus came and told his disciples, "I have been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore, go and make disciples of all the nations." Therefore, go is why we went. We went in order to see if we could be a facilitation of discipleship through some different digital networks. We began with a women's ministry called Becoming More, and that was at the height of the pandemic, at the very beginning of the pandemic. We launched a Facebook page that then grew and grew, and then a year later, we began another network, which was called the Chapel Online, and both of those now exist on Facebook and WhatsApp and are doing daily discipleship. Daily discipleship for people that were somehow connected with the church often, or maybe disconnected with the church, but we're hungry for something more than just a once-a-week faith, something more than just the perception of being a disciple. They were people that were hungry for the chance to really be discipled and then go and make disciples. And then last year, about this time last year, we just turned one, we started another arm of digital discipleship that's actually a child sponsorship organization with some of the people connecting from the U.S. with the people that we were connecting with internationally in Uganda. And so we began to say, okay, what would it look like to create a child sponsorship organization that is built and based around discipleship? And so we created Victory Children's Outreach, which now has 52 children sponsored, and our sponsor parents are in conversation, FaceTime conversations with their kids, discipling each other as they begin and continue these relationships. So literally we have people, thousands of people around the globe, over 50 different countries, and what does that look like? I really want to share with you just for a moment about a woman named Zam. Zam connected with the Chapel Online when she was basically a slave to a family in the UAE. She was from Mityana, Uganda. She left about a year before we connected online, and she was hungry for spiritual development, hungry for a church home. She had no way of leaving this home where she worked. She really had kind of sold herself for a 2-year contract of being their slave, and she had no way of connecting with any kind of spiritual support whatsoever. And so Zam and I began having almost daily conversations through Facebook Messenger, and she began to consume everything that we put out. Our daily discipleship, our reading guides. She was doing whatever she could possibly do to feed her soul and to maintain this connection with a community of believers. And then in December of this last year, Zam's contract was supposed to be up. She was supposed to be released. This was the deal. Well, these people, they weren't into deals and following directions, and so our whole worldwide global community began praying for Zam to be released and to come home for Christmas. That's all any of us ever wanted. We just wanted to know that Zam was home with her daughter Samuela. They were home in Mityana, Uganda, and that they would be reunited. Those prayers didn't get answered. And so as a global community, we continued to pray for Zam. And January came and went, February, March, April, May, June. And in July, a week before my team and I landed in Uganda, Zam made it home. And she made it home not to the community that she left, but she made it home because the Chapel Online now has a big community in Mityana, Uganda. I mean, the way that she made it home was to this big homecoming of people that she had never met, But I had all begun this relationship through the Chapel Online. And now Samuela is her daughter. She's going to be sponsored through Victory Children's Outreach because Mitiana is one of the locations within which we work. And Zam is now beginning one of our women's ministry groups in Mitiana. And she is now discipling other women and helping them come to a faith in Christ. Friends, that's what we do in digital discipleship. I could tell you so many stories. I could keep you here all day long with stories about Frank, with stories about James, with stories about Julie in the UK, with stories about people all over the globe, about how God is using digital connections to build friendships and take them from consumers to contributors to creators, to take them from being discipled to then making disciples. And that is the beauty of discipleship. It's not a complicated strategy. It doesn't take a whole lot of study. What it takes is therefore go. Go and make disciples of all the nations. Thank you all so much for joining us on this journey of making disciples. Thank you all so much for being here and supporting all of these innovative ministries. And I can't wait to continue to learn from you. Thank you.